Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend. I guess the anticlimactic aspect of it is if you've been sitting at home, not going anywhere, sitting at home for Memorial Day weekend and not going anywhere, it didn't seem too much different. So, all right, we kind of suspected that the investor sentiment with the weather getting warmer, and I didn't even see any statistical numbers today on the number of new cases of the virus. But it seems like it's been drifting lower for the last couple weeks. We kind of figured with the weather being good and the news kind of broadcasting how everybody is out and about, that the opening up of the American economy may not be a governor or mayor decision. It might be the American public just being too massive to try to stop. So anyways, today was not unexpected, but the magnitude of the our trading may have been a little bit surprising. However, you can see what's happening. We're still in this upward trend channel on the Dow. We're still in an upward trend channel on the NASDAQ. And you can see what's basically happened. They've been keeping this market pretty much above the T-line this whole way up. So if markets or prices move because of investor sentiment, all we can assume is that the bearish investor sentiment that occurred down here and trading in here, and everyone says, oh, we're going much lower. I think even up until Friday, there was still people saying, oh, this economy can't come back real fast, blah, blah, blah. This market price should be heading lower. Every time you hear that, that should be a bullish sign. Because if everybody was saying this market was going up, that's when you get concerned. When you've got enough people saying, oh, this market's still going to back off, that's bullish. And we've got things that are kind of contributing to that. Look at the crude oil prices back up to $34 a barrel. Just a crowded trade. Just a crowded trade. I don't know what but if they can break through this level, they get back up in this area, that makes it worthwhile. And if they get back up in this area, it's because the amount of traveling is going to be using up. Too many people on one side. When everybody's saying something's going up, look for a reversal. If everybody's saying something's going down, look for an uptrend. So tonight, unfortunately, fortunately, I'm going to spend a good amount of time just going over our existing positions, and that is going to give you a pretty good indication of what stocks and sectors are continuing to act well or planning to act well. Started buying CPA today on the Doji Gap Up breakout. This is a regional airline. And so while I'm on the regional airlines, I might as well take a look at the other airlines that look good. Here is I don't know what I do to this chart that it won't keep. This is Spirit Airlines. This one can be bought. Again, your Morningstar signal, gap up through the T-line, slow curve. Now the buying is really coming in. United Air even had a good chart to it. Let me see. I've lost the other chart. Hold on for a second. I want to see if this well, I lost the other. Oh, no, maybe I didn't. No. Well, Shuzbutz, what happened to... Sorry about this. This chart keeps flipping back to its original. All right. So here's United Airlines with a trend kicker breaking up through this level, through the 50 and through the 34. That might have now a good reason to be buying. Southwest Airlines, look at your kind of your trend kicker breakout. That should have some energy to it. We reiterated a buy on 10 because you can see it did a doji gap up today, breaking out through this level. So these breakouts, as we saw on a lot of these airlines, telling you there's a lot of force coming in. This is will it come back and test the average? Probably not. Not with, which one were you referring to? Maybe not. No, remember, these are the signals telling you they're breaking through the resistance levels, meaning there's more upside. Now, will they come back and test this level? Maybe someday, but right now we're more concerned about what's going to go on in this price move. Halliburton still a steady uptrend, and things like OPM, when it did this little best friend signal, gap up, where was the next likely target coming off the 50? Up here at the 200, which it hit today. Con was part of the specialty retailers that are all setting up nicely. Look at your doji gap up through this resistance level, putting you into wave 3. So the reason that DJ, don't we always wait until we tell Jim to do the double line? The reason we want to look at the powerful price moves is all stocks are going to, or a lot of stocks are going to move up during an uptrend in the market. Well, we're looking for the ones that have the strongest potential uptrends. So DKNG, whether you got it coming out of the fry pan bottom breakout, bobble breakout, or the J-hook pattern, notice what it hasn't done since then. Hasn't closed back below the T-line. Look at our kind of little breakout with a doji sandwich on CWH. And then it did a trend kicker today. You want to stay long on this one. If I was long right now, I'd have a safety stop at today's low. And PS was another one instigated by the bobble breakout. Then look at your Morningstar signal. Your Morningstar signal, your doji sandwich. So even though it kind of backed off today, now at least you can have a strategy that if it stays above the T-line, you stay in it. If it opens much lower or gaps down tomorrow after a dark cloud, it may take some profits up here. Sabre, another one that had a Morningstar signal, best friend, doji, 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 breakout. And notice how they broke out. They gapped up today through that resistance level. And PBF, another oil stock. You can see the little trajectory here. You can see the best friend signal. You can see another best friend signal. You can still be buying this one on positive trading. NAIL has worked out very well. Wow. Started here, stayed above, came out here, but got back in. And look at the magnitude of the move. It's basically gone from 15 to 27 here in the last 2 weeks. And the gap up today still might indicate a lot more upside. Gap up, gap up. And that'll be a function of how does Home Depot go or move from here? How does Lowe's move from here? Toll Brothers is moving up. Pulte Home is moving up. Want to see what it does here at the 50. And then Beazer Home, another one moving up. So the nice thing about NAIL is the leveraged three leverage. So if that industry is moving in the right direction, you get a lot more oomph knowing that you can identify the signal or pattern that's going to produce that move for you. Fun, we're staying with this one, and notice where it gapped today. Right there at the breakout level. So this is where identifying where a resistance level might be. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to be announcing. I can check my desk calendar here. We're going to be working a lot on breakouts because that's where the big money is made, especially if you're a day trader or even an options trader. So on June 6th, that's a Saturday, we're going to be working on breakouts. And it's going to be kind of a 1 hour, probably 2 hour session on how to identify a few of them. Then that's going to kind of roll over that we're going to be doing a full day session, I think on the, dang, I just put my desk calendar back, on the 20th. And that's going to be a full day session on how you set up or how you get ready for a breakout, depending on which pattern or signal you're working with, and then how do you take advantage of it with a lot more orientation toward the option trades. So anyways, mark those on your calendar. They'll be worthwhile. And SGRY. Look at our scoop type pattern, slingshot effect. Look for wave 3 to be that same magnitudes. So this is why I kind of emphasized just having be visually prepared for using the patterns, because that's what's going to put you in situations where the price move is going to be a lot more aggressive or a lot more profitable than just merely uptrending stocks in an uptrending market. So we can see what our PGTI did. Kicker signal off the 50. Where was the next target? The 200. No, as far as the stochastics, because we're still buying the signal or pattern. And if you've got a big gap up on something, if it's usually going to, the stochastics might take a couple days for it to catch up. But anytime we see that big price move, we want to be looking for a 45 degree. I'll see if I can find one to illustrate. There's our cradle pattern. This one, you just stay long. Now it's right there. So if this trades positive tomorrow, you can still be buying this on the basis that wave 1 and wave 3 are going to be pretty much the same. Well, no, I did that, and I wanted to show this one. It stayed above the T-line, but it didn't do very well. It definitely has to open positive and trade positive tomorrow. Now, they've come out with an announcement. I'll get to Logitech. I might as well do it right now. Logitech, when it broke up through this big move, there's your 45 degree. Now, that's a good percentage move. Those Trek, all right, let's see, Trex. When it broke out through the this level, nice. I wouldn't. I don't know what I wouldn't call it a 45 degree because usually you have a big price move, and I guess you could put it in the 45 degree category. Let's see. Viacom, look where you are. Let's see, I don't know what that one is. But you're right here at a breakout level, or this breakout level. If this opens positive, still moving in the direction that that you expect it to. INO tried to come up a little bit today, and somewhere in here there is a big wedge formation. Right there. So we're still looking for this to break out of the upper part of this wedge. Yes. Yeah. So you start watching on this one because with it opening positive and coming back, you want to see if they start trading this lower. There's more than likely going to bring it back down to the T line. BGS is at the bottom of a trend and bottom of a trend channel. Get ready to start buying this with the anticipation it's going to come back up to the top of the trend channel. So we usually don't have these many stocks to look at, but we've had so many that were executed and they're still moving. You can see how Domo did this fry pan bottom breakout, did the bobble breakout, did a J-hook pattern. You just stay long as it stays above the T-line. And CLDR did the left-right combo, right smack dab off the 50, then kind of did a doji through the resistance level of the 200. Another one where you just stay long as it stays above the T-line, let alone the 3 T-line. Marvell started out good today but backed off. But I would still suspect a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Amplex. You just stay long as it stays above the T-line. We did Logitech. And Rare. You can see kind of the J-hook pattern breakout. Another one that shows the T-lines acting as support, still in an uptrend. So got a lot of these where if you had positions on, it doesn't take very much analysis to say, all right, I just stay long on this as long as it stays above the T-line. And when they do close below the T-line, that's when you close them out. You can see pretty much wave 1 and wave 3 were pretty much the same. And then you had the bearish left-right combo close below the T-line. That would have told you to get out of the position at that point. Where was the other ones? Okay, some of the biggies just didn't get any fire underneath them today. Still flat as a pancake. Apple is in an uptrend but backed off today. Not a good sign. It definitely needs to stay above the T-line. You know, LVGO, you could probably go short. Amazon also was kind of stagnant today. Another one that if it opens lower tomorrow, close it out, because now you're probably going to be in a sideways for a little bit. Nvidia, a bearish engulfing. It has to open positive. You've got a gap up doji, doji, bearish left-right combo, bearish engulfing. What are all these things? These are all sell signals. The only thing that's keeping this uptrend alive right now is the fact that they haven't closed below the T-line. Kind of a dark cloud, yes. So it makes it very simple. If they open this lower and trade below the T-line, close it out. And Netflix, ever since it closed below the T-line, look at your bearish left-right combo. Look at your bearish left-right combo. This is why you want to be pretty much tuned, I guess, to the strong signals, which are your best friend signals or your bearish or your left-right combos. That gives you a lot of information. It could be, yes. If it opens lower, I'd want to see it start trading lower, because you're seeing a lot of sell signals here. As I say, the only saving grace so far is that it is staying up above the T-line. Did we do Netflix? Netflix, left-right combo. Looking for it to go down to the back to the 50. So there was a couple that started looking good, and they're backed off today. This is your 45 degree right now on DDOG. So even though it traded lower today, it came back up. So remember what happens in a trend. Not every single day is going to be an update. That would be a lot easier to evaluate. So the evaluation has to be the combination of what pattern you're in and where is it compared to the T-line. CrowdStrike. Now that is a bearish engulfing signal, closing right smack dab on the T-line. It might be wave 1 and wave 3 are pretty much the same. So if this opened lower, you'd close out the position. Because the rhetorical question is, well, what if it trades lower and then comes back up? If it opens lower, remember what instantly happened to your probabilities after a sell signal. It told you your probabilities were in this direction. If it opens lower, you close it out, and closes back up, you can always get ready to buy it back with the same criteria, that it can't close back below the T-line. And CDLX, another one that's had this support at the T-line, did a bearish engulfing signal, but still trading up above the T-line. So trading above the T-line, remember, is still an important criteria. So you need to see a sell signal and a close below the T-line. Anytime you see the T-line acting as support, you're going to use that to your advantage. And, oh, here are the other ones that had sell signals. So the silver stocks, this one would have been closed out today. MAG, SSRM, this one should have been closed out today. Not, Jake, that's the whole point of analyzing what your chart is telling you based upon your sell signal and the T-line. So we don't know if this is a sell signal yet until it confirms. That's what the T-line is for. Yes, you have to wait for more information. And remember, you're not trying to buy at the absolute bottom, and you're not trying to sell at the absolute top. You're trying to get the high probability trade in the middle. So it might mean you're buying here and you're selling here. This is the part that you're looking for. Okay, let's take a look at oh, I forget who was asking about this today. But they said, should we be buying? It opened and traded lower. Don, okay. So here is a very simple method. If you think it's time to buy and it opens positive, it doesn't matter whether you buy it here or here or here, as long as you know it's going in this direction. Because if you're buying it, where do you think your next target's going to be? Way up here. So it doesn't matter whether you paid $13 and just, well, let's even use here. It opened up at 14, bobbled around here for a few minutes, and then started backing off. I would rather be paying $14.25 for it, knowing that it's moving in this direction. So a lot of people say, well, what if it gaps open and immediately starts selling off? If it gaps open and it starts immediately selling off, you don't do anything. Where's the optimal place to buy? When it backs off and then the selling stops and it comes back up through the open, that's when you can be buying. Why would it be more critical or more relevant to be buying at that point? Because it's moving in that direction. It's coming back up through where the selling first started. Now the bulls are in control, and that's what you would expect after a Morningstar signal and a potential doji sandwich. Why the sudden dip today? Chuck, what's that referring to? What would CrowdStrike have to do to be a buy? Nothing. Why would you want to buy a stock that has already moved from 35 to 80? If you're buying it, what are you trying to do? You're trying to see if it's still going to go up. That's where most people lose their money, because they see a stock that's moving or has moved and they can't wait to get in because, boy, would they feel stupid that they could see it was going up and they didn't get into it. When I see something like that, I think, oh, should I buy? Then I look back and said, nah, I should have bought here at the J-hook. I should have bought here at the breakout. I should have bought here. So I go back and try to find something that looks like it's a buy. Oh, let's see. Chuck, was that on? Yeah, let's just say, oh, an ELMD. So the question is, why the dip? Meaning on this one, who knows? Apparently it's sold off. If we were long CDOX and DDOG, most likely we would be stopped out today if we placed a stop loss using previous day's candle. We could do that. Yes, you could have done that, but you also have to take into account, look what it's been doing. It's been staying above the T-line. That should probably be your most important criteria at this point. Was this profit taken? Could be. That's why we use the T-line. Yeah, and for all we know is there's always going to be buying and selling. So if you were buying this one and it opened positive, let me see if I can get more clear here. Bah. I can't tell, is that? Well, let's see. Let's just put it this way. If you see a buy setup and they open up positive and they take it down, what's the color of your candle going to be? Very simply, it's going to be that red candle or dark candle. What were we expecting from here? It to go in this direction. So if that's our expectation, when does this day show the bulls are taking control? If they sold it off and they came back up through this open. Yeah, so people today were apparently selling the techs. Yeah, we saw a lot of that happening today where they gapped up and then immediately started selling off. How long would you hold on to this one? I'm holding on as long as it doesn't close below the T-line. Because what is our overall price move? Kind of a big fry pan bottom. And what's up here? Well, I guess it almost got to fill in that gap. Not quite up to filling this gap. So I think it's probably still got some more upside. Okay. So this is why it's important to understand or use the color of that candle. That if it opens here, that's not a good one to illustrate for a buy. And it's not a good one to illustrate for a sell because we're not quite in the overbought area. And what's our rule about a fry pan bottom? You can pretty much stay long as it stays above the T-line. Jay, the text might not be over. This may just been a profit-taking day today. Yeah, so this is why what Will is demonstrating is today there was lots of other places that people were putting their money over in the airlines or in the specialty retails were still acting very well. Retails like Macy's came back up ready to break out. You gave 10 You gave 10. I would have probably used maybe today's open, that if it gapped up, it was trading positive. If it came back down through there, that would be a weak signal, bringing you back into the trading area. Okay, let's jump to some other ones. Let's see. So this is why we look for the breakouts. Look at the big wedge on this one. When they broke it out, that's when there was a change of investor sentiment. Yeah, this is, and this is, that analysis is when you see one sector trading off and the other major sectors trading up. It just tells you there's rotation going on, not a change of the market. The other airlines, JetBlue, nice little gap up. Southwest, oops, that's not Southwest. Southwest broke the downtrend of the 50. Hawaiian Air, another one that I don't know what that line is, so let's remove. Another fry pan bottom breakout heading in the right direction. Not really, Jake, for scanning for wedges. Usually it's something you're going to see coming up, or in this case, if we cut the chart off right there and we happen to be scanning for that price stock and we saw it had a big percent move, little best friend gap up, then we can also see, well, yeah, there's a wedge also. So you don't usually scan for a wedge unless you've already identified it, but it becomes a reverse engineering that if you see this breakout and then you can identify there was a wedge set up, that makes this breakout that much more relevant. Yes, this one today with the gap up and it trading up here, if I had a stock that I just paid $4 for and now it was trading at 10.50 after gapping up, just getting into the overbought area, that's where, oh, is it happy evening star signal? Is it going to hold the T-line? No, it didn't. Closed it out. And or if I was being a little bit more aggressive and it was trading up here, which also said we're trading way up here, I get ready to pull the trigger. Maybe I sell out half the position here, or put my stop right there because I'm in the overbought area. So remember, your 10-minute chart looks just like your daily. Or if I want to get a little bit more specific, there's my 5-minute chart. Got a bearish engulfing signal. Things are starting to pull back on the 5-minute chart. That means my 10-minute chart might start getting a little bit soggy. So I could easily say that if I had been in this stock from the breakout and today it gapped up and was up here, I was probably out at least some up here and maybe some more right in there. Just because of the simple analysis that you're that far away from the T-line. Okay, what else was I looking at? TGI, another kind of fry pan bottom, breakout through the 50. That should have a little bit of running room, especially if it breaks through this, breaks through this level. MCS. Don't even know what the markets court does, but it's done your little fry pan bottom gap up breakout. Why is this intriguing? Well, you got a gap up here. That would give you pretty close to a, boy, almost a, where did it close? 12, 13, up here to the 18 area, above a 50% profit. Oh, theaters. Oh, okay. What's, I can't even remember the, back. Can you remember what I was thinking? M-chip. Look at your doji gap up. Bobble breakout. You can be buying this one on positive trading. That's probably a good option trade setup, because if you figure this might be a wave right here, there's a gap right up here. Let's move this line up to that gap. Let's say 104. So it's probably a good place to either buy calls or spreads. And Starbuck bulk. This one I had on here because it had broken out but came back. So here's a perfect example of buying something that didn't work. But if I had bought this up here today, and then at the end of the day it closed back here, I'd close out the position. Because, oh, Cindy, I don't know what spread. I just, I'd have to look at it. I will probably write up the spread for the options room tonight. But the fact that this was supposed to break out, you can see there's a resistance level. The 50 also at the resistance level. If I bought up here, I don't have any qualms about closing it back out when it closed back down here. Because what did that tell me about my breakout? It didn't occur. I don't want to have my money sitting tied up here, not knowing what it's doing. I'd rather have my money and be ready to go find something that looks like this. Yes, I was just, yeah, this, I don't know what the spread is because I haven't looked at them, but I'm saying that if you see, this is what improves your probabilities of being in the right trade at the right time, when you can identify a strong signal like your little best friend, and you can identify there's a bobble breakout, and you can identify what your next price move will be. Now you might have a much more viable spread up here, meaning you might buy the 97 selling the 102. And if that is only for, I'm going to guess, $1 or 80 cents or something like that, for it to go to $5, yeah, that becomes a good estimate with reducing your risk exposure, knowing that this is my capable price move based upon this, a bobble breakout, everything else we just said. If that's a likely target, now I can really reduce my risk by buying a spread with a lot less money exposed and the leverage working that much better. Still, but wouldn't you wait another day to see SBLK? Is it getting what looks like to be a bobble? Excuse me. Yes, that's what it was doing when it traded up here today. Kind of had a bobble breakout. But when it closed back below this, below the 50, which is our breakout level, what's that telling you? Jay, I'm just saying that if I was looking at this and saying, all right, if they start trading this positive, I've got a bobble breakout. So if I was buying at 550, and then at the end of the day it closes down here, I'd close it out because it didn't fulfill what I expected it to do. Now, if I hadn't bought this, I'd still keep it on my watch list if this starts trading positive tomorrow. Kind of doing kind of a bullish flutter kicker breakout. that would be another or a time to be buying, and stay with it as long as it stays above the T line. So if we know what to be looking for or expecting, we know what not to expect, meaning didn't want to come back down below the breakout level. Here's another breakout, fly. Kind of a big fry pan bottom. And now you got the doji gap up. This is exactly what you're looking for, is that new investor sentiment strength. United Rentals, there's your bobble breakout. This one can still be bought. Tupperware, there's your fry pan bottom breakout. Expectations, strong move to the upside. Well, we'll go to the 200. Who knows? We just know that it's probably moving in the right direction. Neighbors, fry pan bottom. Another one that could be a very strong positive trading. And notice what's happened here. You got your fry pan bottom breakout, and notice what it did today. Now, not quite a trend kicker signal, but definitely a confirmation of the breakout. Yes, same scenario. There is your trend kicker signal breaking out. Where's your first likely target? At least up here you got a decent little profit, and then it could be moving much faster from that level. And CPRI, another trend kicker. Where's the likely target? Probably up here. So if you're buying it 1650 and it goes to 21, that's a decent percentage return on a high probability pattern setup. Another fry pan bottom on HLX with a gap up best friend right at the 50, breaking this downtrend. A good probability that there's going to be some more upside on this one. All right. So we also want to identify the strong reversals. There's our cradle pattern. Headboard, bed, footboard. Slingshot effect to the upside. Here's kind of our little cradle pattern. Slingshot effect to the upside. Oops, had another one. Rubicon. Kind of a sloppy bed. Looks like my bed. That's another cradle pattern. Kind of supporting right here. Where do you think your next target might be? At least up here, getting you pretty close to the 200-day moving average. A little kicker signal on this one. So if they're kicking off the 50, a strong kicker signal, where do you think your next target is likely to be? Probably up here at the 200. That was the kind of the same scenario as when they broke out. No, that wasn't the right one. No, this one. When they broke out, did a signal right off the 50, where's your next target? The 200-day moving average. Trend kicker on Designer Brands, one of the retailers. And what was the other one? Oh, HZO. HZO is working. And this one looks like it's setting up. There was the big move, wave one. There was your bearish Harami. And remember our statistics. If you see a big, huge move like this, and it opens lower the next day and starts trading lower, close it out. The probabilities are 90% or greater that it's not coming back up for a while. Kareem, hold on to your individual ones until we get to the double line. Yes, we're not usually, you want to see a trend kicker. It's telling you there's more upside. And if you happen to see that trend kicker at a breakout level, it's that much more relevant. Here's your best friend signal, fry pan bottom on WBT. And PVH. There's kind of your best friend, fry pan bottom breakout. Another one that probably has a likely target of moving up into this range. Yeah, if this opened positive, I just have a safety stop underneath the T-line or just below today's open. And Love also did a best friend, J-hook pattern. So notice what it's done. It's come up, hit the 200, pulled back. There's your bobble breakout. What happens when they sometimes break out? They come back to see if the breakout level acts as support. And did it act as support? They couldn't get down through the 200. Now you've got a doji gap up. That's a high probability. Now you're in wave 3. So when you add all these together, it's just basically not only putting yourself in a position where the probabilities are pretty strong that you're heading in the right direction, but at least with candlestick signals or patterns, you can calculate whether the next move is going to be a strong enough magnitude move to even be bothering with. No, don't use the stochastics crossing. We're only using the stochastics to tell us where we are in the trend. Looking for buy signals when you're in the lower end of the price move or the trend. So Bed Bath & Beyond, you can still be buying this one. Look at your Morningstar signal. Couldn't close below the T-line. Now you have a doji sandwich. I would still suspect they're going to eventually bring it back up to the 200. And Hanes brand, another one that did a trend kicker signal, breaking out through this level. So remember, the trend kicker signal is a very high probability continuation. And when they do that right through a resistance level, I tell you there's probably a lot more upside to come. VTIQ, there's your J-hook pattern setting up. You can still be buying this one, and the percent moves are probably going to be substantial. Oh, KNL, another best friend, kind of breakout, Bob or supported the 50, usually indicating there's a lot more upside. So, seeing lots of good price moves. So when you have a lot of good price moves, you want to find the best ones. And I'm following the ones right now that are doing best friend signals or trend kickers, pattern breakouts, because I don't mind being in a stock that moves like this, but I'd rather be in one that's moving like this when again, using that old phrase, making hay while the sun's shining. Okay, I guess that's about all I got for tonight. In a couple weekends, we are going to be identifying how these breakouts are getting a little bit more identification of patterns that are setting up for the breakout so we can take advantage of them. And then a couple weeks after that, we're going to figure out what is the best way to take advantage of them based upon different option strategies or stock and option strategies. There's about 20 stocks so far that we can be buying now. I can only really handle putting on about 5 new trades at a time. That's even a lot for me. I usually at most put on 2 new trades at a time. So Jake, that's how you go through your cultivation process. That's why we've been doing the trainings on the signals and patterns, and then the top rank signals and patterns. So the top rank signals and patterns, you want to learn those, and those are the best friend signals, the left-right combo, the trend kickers, the kicker signals, things that are going to give you a lot more oomph during the uptrend. Today all the indexes gapped up, it closed lower than the open. Is that an indication of weakness? Not really, because they gapped up, and look where the Dow finished up. Still finished up near the top end of the range. But what's the overall analysis? There's still kind of a trend channel here that tells you that that you're not you're not getting any real indication of any bearish doji sentiment, or doji sentiment, bearish sentiment. You had a couple things. You had the fry pan bottom. You had kind of the bobble breakout. You had a J-hook pattern. And now you have nothing more than, it's just, you stay long as long as it stays above the T-line. So you had a breakout right here, and you had a J-hook pattern set up right here. Okay. Any general questions on candlesticks? I have a problem using the T-line and signals using futures. I can't figure out whether to stay in a trade. Yep, that shouldn't be difficult, Kareem. There's the futures on hogs. You can see the little kicker signal, and then today you can see that it was opening positive. You could still be buying. If you're day trading, you still have the same patterns as you would. That's my 10-minute chart. If I was trading crude oil, it's a little bit more tougher to trade. So when I see something like this, you can see how they whip it around. Now I might, instead of trading off the 10-minute chart, they move to a 30-minute. But today was just a tough day. Now you can see on days like this, much easier to identify what the trend was doing. Would you, oh Chuck, we've got them all over the place. In the members area, there should be the top rank signals and patterns training. I'd get that. I keep getting stopped out. I should probably just watch the T-line. Yes. The more you start gaining confidence on the T-line, before the T-line came along, I may have closed it out right here without a T-line on there. There's that big dark cloud and trading lower. And what would my rationale be? I can always get back in. But what was I usually doing with the money that I just closed out? I was going to find another trade that looked like this. Whereas when the T-line came along, it took me a while to kind of gain confidence. But the more I used it, the more I realized just sit as long as it doesn't close below the T-line. Yes, just based upon the patterns. There was another one that I just put up that had, so you could have bought here, You could have bought here or here. I don't know whether I bought any more from that point. At that point, I would just be staying long. For price trend line, just whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't be that. I'm not that specific. If I'm looking at something where I can see, and I can't remember. Oh yes, if I can see that if I kind of came down through the tops or the opens or closes, I can still kind of see there's a wedge there. If I can see that there's 4 or 5 tails to the upside that you could draw a line, use the top of those. That's where somebody else is watching. Okay, I guess with that, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And in 3.8 seconds, do the next double line. SYY, you can be buying this one. Look at your little trend kicker. Possibility of coming up to the 200, top of the channel. Apache, whoops. Apache, you can still be buying this one, especially if it opens positive tomorrow. THO, you don't know yet. I would have a safety stop at today's low. An overstock. So you still need to see a sell signal confirmed. So doji at the top, you put your safety stop in. Overstock, you should have been out of this one if you got back in after this day. Right now it wouldn't be long or short because you can see what's happening. You got kind of a wedge formation. Dropbox, a trend kicker, or a kicker actually. You can be buying this one on positive trading. Oops. Well, and I'd kind of start right there or even right there, but it's still with that doji gap up, tells you stay long right now as long as it stays above the T line. And EWZ, Brazil, stay long, gapped up nicely today. The S&P came back down to the 200. Now you want to see if it will open positive tomorrow and stay above the 200. We did fly. That's a nice breakout today of a fry pan bottom. And nail is still, well, Shazam. Thinking I'm typing fast. Nail, you stay long because it's still got the prospect of filling this gap. Still a good fur piece away. And Stone, another trend kicker, probably at least coming up to the top of the channel. Pags, another one you can buy after the gap up today. RLGY, another fry pan bottom type breakout. I would suspect the 200. Valero, just stay long. Now you're right up here at the resistance level with an indecisive trading. You're in a slow uptrend. You want to see it pick up speed by breaking out through the top of this trend. But that doji gap up today should add a little bit of oomph to the upside. And ABBV, a bearish engulfing. If it opens lower tomorrow, you close it out. And Guild, still nothing. If you were short, you stay short. but I wouldn't be long this one until you see a strong buy signal. CHD, another one that I probably wouldn't be long or short. No, because you've got too much. You got a support level here. I mean, that's just not selling off with any great magnitude. That wouldn't be the best short. Glue should have been out of this one. This one needed to open positive and trade positive today. So if you had been long and it opened positive and you saw it was selling off, you immediately put your stop below the T line or at the low of yesterday, of Friday, because if it came back down through there, it was going in the wrong direction. PS, you stay long. Dark cloud, but you're sitting right on the 3T line. It has to open positive. 10, DJ, were you watching us when we've done this one a couple times? That's a breakout. You can still be buying this one on positive trading. Etsy, if you're short, you stay short. Probably right now, though, I wouldn't be long or short this one. Except if I was short, I'd stay short. SGEN, another one that you should have been out of. Shouldn't have been in it because you should have been out over here because you can see that they weren't heading back up. If you're short on this one, you can stay short. And Kroger, if you're short on this one, stay short. Wells Fargo, not a great chart, but a lot of the banks are up strong today. So you do have a little best friend type signal. If you're buying, look at your overhead right in here. It's got to get through this downtrend and the 50. So I probably wouldn't buy it until it does get up through the 50. Etsy, you can short this one if you like on weakness tomorrow. ATVI, same scenario on this one. XLF, you could be buying this one on positive trading because of the gap up off the doji. And XLI, same scenario, starting to move, breaking out. I would suspect this being the first potential target. Whoops. Zion trend kicker. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one still right here at the breakout area. Hospital Corp. Stay long. I don't know where these came from. Not your greatest looking chart, but it's heading in the right direction. NTR. Another one you can get ready to buy on positive trading after your kind of gap up, consolidation, second gap up. Noble, stay long. Neighbor, I like that one better. FBRR. You stay long as long as it stays above the T-line, which looks like it's trying to do a J-hook pattern. So there's your fry pan bottom. There's your potential J-hook. If I was buying this one tomorrow, I'd have a stop just below the T-line. Is WOW a symbol? That's a nice fry pan bottom or a bobble breakout. ELOS. Boy, that's a toughie. It's having a hard time getting started. I probably wouldn't buy this one unless there was enough strength to get it back up through the high of today. RVNC. That one ran out of steam. All you can do right now is stay long as it stays above the T-line. I think we did RAD earlier. There's nothing there. I'd be someplace else. AXLA. That one I would have closed out. If I'd been long and it did a bearish engulfing signal all the way back below this, that's now come into what I would consider to be a wedge setup. Another fry pan bottom that you can buy, did a little doji sandwich or a little trend kicker today. Peloton, you should be out of this one. There's a perfect example. When you're in the overbought area, put your safety stop below the previous day's open. AEM, another one you should have been out. Bearish engulfing, close below the T-line. Now you can be short, or if you're thinking of going short, I'd put a sell stop just below today's low. If it comes down through there, it's got a good inkling to come back toward the 200-day moving average. Fro, you can buy this one, especially if it opens positive above the 50 tomorrow. After today's little best friend off the hammer. Dark cloud, it needs to stay above the T-line. Beyond Meat. This one should have been closed out today. Bearish left-right combo that closed below the T-line. Cisco. You can see that's having a hard time. You can stay with it as long as it stays above the T-line. It needs to break back out through the 200. EBIX. Stay long, but this one you definitely want to see open positive. Costco. Kind of a wedge, not really a wedge, but you can see the kind of the resistance level. Right now, I wouldn't be long or short Costco, just nothing there. ZS, that's not a great looking chart. Shooting star, bearish engulfing, doji, bearish left-right combo. Hammer doji, this, yep, and stochastics. If this opened lower, I'd close it out. And then if it's going to move up, you have to wait for the next buy signal. Zoom should have been closed out today. You can see the bearish engulfing right about the same place you did the dark cloud. The Russell, yeah, still moving up. Nothing, still strong. And WRK, another one that you can be buying if it can get up through the 50. Billy, stay long on this one. They couldn't close it below the T-line. Avis, you can be buying this one if it comes up through this level. Or if you're long now, you stay long. Space, they haven't sent it off yet, have they? I think they're trying to take it off tomorrow. So right now it wouldn't be long or short space. And CNSL, you could be buying this one on strength, especially if it comes back up through today's open. D-Dog stayed up above the T-line, so you don't want to see this close below the T-line, and probably as a safety stop, I wouldn't want to see it come back down through today's close. I'm sorry, today's low. Mattel, another nice breakout right at the breakout level. GM, yep, acting well. Stay long. Ford, starting to come up slowly. SDC, needs a little bit more strength. I'd be a buyer of this one. If it came back up through today's open, that would tell me the J-hook pattern is setting up again. Square, you stay long as this stays up above the T-line. WNS, best friend signal, scoop type pattern, buy on strength. Oh, a trend or a kicker signal occurs usually at a reversal. It doesn't necessarily. I'll try to find one. The trend kicker occurs when the trend is already in progress. We did Sabre. Broke out. Stay long. Look at your inverted hammer. Doji, best friend gap up. Netflix, you're probably late to the party. You can short it, but now you're at a higher risk, and your price move isn't that significant. If I was short, I'd stay short. I probably wouldn't be shorting it here. In Matador, you just stay long as it stays above the T-line. Still trying to find kickers versus ENPH. ENPH. Nothing. The bearish engulfing away from the T-line after kind of a shooting star, gap down. I probably would have closed it out here. I wouldn't be long or short this one right now. Good night, Deanna. CNP, not anything great. It's probably coming back up to the top of the channel. INSG. Another one that you could be buying if it comes back up through today's open. No, you could probably be shorting this one. There's your bearish left-right combo. You still have more downside. I would at least watch to see what happens at the 34. And if they don't support there, they're probably heading toward the 50. F5, nothing. Nothing on that chart to want to be long or short. Pan, nothing there. Okay, well, wasn't a symbol. All right. PNW or Palo Alto, you stay long, but you do have a sell signal. Put a safety stop just below the T-line. JD.com, it came back up. You could be a buyer on this one on strength, giving you a J-hook pattern setup. App, I don't think App's done anything. Yeah, I wouldn't be long or short. This one's just too sideways. Dang, how can I miss? My fingers must be getting fatter. Yes, all the when the financials are trading up strong, that means the market is still acting strong. Goldman, here's JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, all acted well. Dust is trading, trading positive because I think gold is starting to back off a little bit. ADS, that one can be bought, kind of a fry pan bottom breakout. Target, stay short if you're short. There's your breakout. So there's your classic fry pan bottom J-hook pattern. If you're long, I'd have a safety stop just to be careful at today's low. And Twillo, you stay long as this 45 degrees stays in place. RK, what failed? Space? Or did they just, because they had too much cloud cover? Walmart, nothing. It's a tough stock to trade. I wouldn't be long or short this one. Well, for crying out loud. I have missed so many letters here. Cars, you can stay long. Morningstar signal right off the 50. That makes the 200 a viable target. Nice little scoop type breakout. Stay long on this one. I wouldn't want to see it come back through this level. That would put you back into the sideways trading. What was VIR? No, nothing there. ABR, you can stay long on this one. There's kind of your bullish flutter kicker, not bullish flutter kicker, your bullish doji sandwich. Abbott, nothing. I probably wouldn't be long or short, just not enough direction on this one. Facebook, a dark cloud, I would stay long because they're still trading above the 3T line. I'd have a safety stop, though, below the T line, just in case. Oh, I'm going to probably do some options on Microchip because of its gap up breakout. And there was a few other ones. Neighbors, nice fry pan bottom. HXL, another fry pan bottom breakout. And VTIQ, well, for crying out loud. A J-hook pattern. Shopify, big bearish engulfing signal, closed below the T-line. If you stayed long, it has to open positive to stay in it tomorrow. That's a bearish kicker type signal. That one, you can go short if it opens lower tomorrow. And FAS, another kind of fry pan bottom, setting up nicely. XLF, same scenario. It can be bought on positive trading. VERI, fry pan bottom, has never closed back below the T-line. You just stay with it. T2, that one, that's why you put your safety stop if you have to have been long below the T-line. Right now you can think about going short on that one. And Marvell didn't do great, but it didn't do a sell signal unless they open it lower tomorrow, then you close it out. Oh, we did that, or did I do that? The, the airlines, Hawaiian Air, yeah, I meant to point them out better. The airlines are good. The specialty retail is good. Auto parts are good. I think those are the ones that I should have concentrated on. All right. All right. What was the one they used to drop off? Was it like an X15 or something? Jake, I'll have to look to see what my favorite one would be tomorrow. There's a bunch. I mean, it's just narrowing down which fry pan bottom breakout. And I don't know why these things are on here. They are just bugging me. FedEx, gap up best friend, gap up best friend. At least coming up here to this level. So the cruise lines are also acting well. They just have so much, I don't want to say so much luggage because that's what they're supposed to have. Just a lot of whipsaw potential. What do you mean you just joined? Apple just needs to stay above the T-line, especially after today's bearish dark cloud. And D-Dog needs to stay above the T-line. Crude oil is still holding up. It was trading at around $34 this evening. So crude oil stay long. X15, yes. All right. They all went up 10%. All right. Yeah, same scenario though. You stay long as it stays above the T-line. Okay. Still lots of good potential in this market. And the potential is that the more companies that are working on the vaccine, that the more they keep coming out saying they're getting close, the more people will be jumping into the market or adding to the market. So, all right, with that, everybody have a good evening. We will see you bright and early in the morning. We'll see you then.